Welcome to the coloring tutorial. That was a bad start. Basically, I'm in auto-tune because I don't like my voice. Moving on. This is way more fun. Anyways, moving on. During this recording of my screen, I was giving a recording of my voice, but I was rambling too much and it ended up being like 52 minutes long. You don't want to watch a 52-minute long video on me coloring. So I'm doing a voiceover. I want to start off by saying that nothing I say is law. Don't take anything I say seriously because I'm an amateur. Now let's get started. As you can see, I am coloring the skin. This is what I do with most of my drawings when coloring. I like to color the base skin first, and then, as you can see, I color the eyes a yellowish white because I really like doing that. I consider it part of my style. The eyes, I colored a really saturated red because that's what this character's eye color is. I am so sorry to interrupt the original recording and disrupt the whole viewing experience, but the person who asked for a coloring tutorial was mainly asking about the patchwork I do, and I'm assuming that means patchwork blushing because it's kind of a thing that I do now. And so I just thought I'd go more into detail on how I do it. This is in real time. You're watching this in real time. I slowed the video down in real time just for the blushing part. Basically, for blushing, what I do is I take the base color of the skin and I give it a more red, just a little bit. You just add a little bit more saturation and lean it in the direction of red or orange, whichever way I feel that day. And then I kind of brush it on with the gouache brush, the default gouache brush on Clip Studio Paint. And I work in with it back and forth between the base color and the blush color that I picked. It looks like I picked 5 different colors here, but it was really just one, and I blended it with the base color. So after that, I take the blush color, and you'll see here in a second, give it a second, I take that blush color, and then I saturate it a bit more, and I draw on some more blush, brush, blush, brush, 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 and bam, it's not done yet. I work in and out with it, blend it some more, make it more patchy. I bring it up to the forehead and the eyelids to act as a shadow. Now the blush is acting like a shadow and blush, parkour. I'm just blending it, working in and out with it, shadow. Sometimes I like to take the skin color and just bring it down the bridge of the nose, but I don't do that every time, just sometimes. I don't think I did with this one. No, I did not. But with blushing, I just go with the flow. However the face is facing, however the cheeks I feel get rounded. Right now I'm working with the right side, blending, bringing the base blush down a little bit further down the cheek, down to jawline area, because I thought it needed to go down further. I just work in and out, tapering the edges. Now I'm bringing it to the horns, because the horns have saturated just a little bit more. And I give just some really intense blushing to the really far corners. I don't go too hard with it, because if you go too hard with it, it can be overwhelming, more overwhelming than it already is right now. And after that, I'm pretty much done. There are obviously other ways to blush stuff, blush faces, but this is how I do it. Thank you so much. I hope you liked it. There's not really much more to say about it. I usually only do 2 layers of blush on top of the base skin tone. Right here, I'm just picking a shadow for the skin. But anyways, I hope you found that helpful. Back to the original recording now. What am I doing here? Oh, okay. So picking a shadow for the skin. I like to make my skin shadows a little bluer, because veins and stuff and skin tones or whatever. I don't know, just I like it whenever the skin blue, whatever, you get what I mean. Right here, I am giving in a base color for the hair. After I get done giving all the details to the skin, then I'll go in and give base colors to everything else. The hair, the clothes, the pants, the clothes, the pants, and the hair and the clothes. Maybe an item that the character is holding. You know, just base colors. I think this is really important. Oh, right here, I'm telling you that you need a brush that isn't streaky to give base colors, because it's faster. After that, I'm telling you about colors that get along with each other, like I mentioned earlier. I like to stick in the less saturated area of the color wheel, I guess, because the colors get along with each other better. Right here, I'm explaining that you should never use pure black to color in black clothes. Just move it up a little bit to whatever color you want as an undertone. Here I'm showing you different blacks you could do. A blue black, a red black, a green black. So many choices. Next, I'm picking a red for the undershirt. I'm still keeping in mind that I wanted to get along with the green tealish color that's in the shirt. After that, I have all my base colors down, and right here I'm explaining that you don't want to shade with black. I was showing you how ugly it would look if you shaded with black, and I'm looking at it and it's pretty damn ugly. So now I'm showing you how to shade, how I would shade, and that's with a darker color. So then I just hop into it, I start shading with the darker color. Whenever you're picking a color to shade with, oh, right here colors in the background, and I talked about how I was separating the shadow and the color of whatever it was and its shadow with a little line of pink in this drawing because I thought it looked cool. This is the first time I've done this. I've seen other people do it, and I just tried it in that drawing. Now what am I doing? Okay, I'm giving shadow to the hair. As you can see, I picked a darker purple that's more on the blue side. It's going more towards the blue. As you can see, whenever I switch back and forth with the eyedropper tool to the two different purples, one thing I do is whenever I put the shadow shade on top of the base color, there's the in-between shade that I play with, and that's what I'm doing now. So I've got the highlight, the base, not really in this case, but right here, well, ignore what I'm doing right now. I was just talking about shading. As you can tell, the original recording wasn't that organized. Back to the hair. I had a shadow color and a deeper shadow color, and I just play with that. I'm going back and forth, doing the whole patchy thing again, because that's just how I like to color things. This is how I would really color any drawing right now if I didn't want to really experiment too much. This is just how I color things right now. Out a year from now, maybe that's not how I color things. Right here, I'm mixing in pink into the shirt to give it some more texture, dimension of the sorts, more to look at, more for your eyeball to look at. This is something I only started doing recently, so I don't really know where to put the colors yet. And then I'm doing the same thing to the undershirt. Then I did the same thing to the skin. I don't know if I like it, but I did it anyways. There's a video I'd really like to suggest on how to pick colors and understand colors. I'll try to find it and link it in the description because it is a very nice video. I think about it all the time. Every time I color, it changed my life. I watched it last year for Christmas, 2018 Christmas season. That's when I watched it. And since then I've been working on it, and I think I've got a little bit of a grasp on it. Here I'm just talking about the colors I picked. It kind of ties in with the not so saturated bit that I was mentioning earlier. The colors, they just get along with each other better than what really saturated colors would be doing. I cannot stress enough how much this video that I'm going to link in the description is important to watch because it explains how you can make colors that are on the opposite side of the color wheel close to each other in a drawing, and it is really important, I think, to understand. So I will definitely link that in the description. I'll find it no matter what. Here I was just talking about how I was using blue more in my drawings of skin. It's something I'm going to try more often now because I really like the way it looks. I'm just adding more blush to the ears. Some other people, they'll do a whole base layer. Okay, well, I brought this up in the recording of this, so I'll just show that I'm pointing out that I didn't do the patchy blush work in this drawing like I do my other drawings, or some of my other drawings. I think that's important to know, that you don't have to stick to a certain style. Here I'm pointing out that I did do the patchy blush work drawing. I'm just showing you what it looks like without line art. But right now I'd like to mention that you do not have to stick to a certain style. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Just draw whatever you want. I think being obsessive over an art style is a little constricting. Just draw whatever you want, however you want it. You don't have to stick to a certain way to do it. You have literally all the freedom in the world to draw how you want. Here I'm mentioning that I think this is the drawing that sparked somebody to ask for a coloring tutorial. I'm just mentioning how I pick the colors how I would the blush that I mentioned earlier. It's just the skin color, but then you warm it up a bit by giving it a little bit of more saturation, just a little bit. I also explained some of the other colors I picked, but if you want to look at Toilet Bound Hanako-kun art from the official artist that draws it, they color really nice, and I really suggest studying that. Anyways, moving on. I don't really know what I'm talking about here. I'm spinning the color wheel around. What was I talking? Okay, I know what we're getting into. I'm talking about how you would shade something, because I think it's really important that you know what color to shade stuff with. So with that purple, that's what I'd shade the purple with. With that red, that's what I'd shade the red with. With that green, that's what I would shade the green with. As you can see, it just pops, it looks cool. Here I'm mentioning about gradients, gradient shading, airbrush shading, and how personally I only stick to cell-ish shading, because cell shading is what I'm comfortable with. Here I'm just playing with gradients right here, but I'd like to mention that airbrush shading is something a lot of beginners do, and if it's in your style, I guess do it, but it's not something I do. It's not something I like looking at, so I just don't do it. I do cell shading because it looks nicer to me. But use the airbrush tool however you want. I just use cell shading. Have I mentioned that? I use cell shading. Anyways, I'm just fixing this up. I finally picked a background color. And yeah, there it is. That's the final image. It's messy. It's kind of ugly, not gonna lie. But let's say that it had pretty line art and the shirt wasn't a big mess. That's how I would color it. This is a coloring tutorial, not a drawing tutorial. That's how I would color it, I guess, you know. Patchy, cell shading, and using color to shade color. I'm gonna try to link some resources down below, like tutorials that are playing in the back of my mind literally all the time. Right now, there's 2 tutorials coming to mind that of my brain every time I color anything. I will link those both in the description. And yeah, if you got your answers on how I color things, congratulations. I can't really give any other advice. The video's over. Thank you for watching. Bye.